Well, the first returns are coming in on the WNBA All-Star voting. Of course, it will be in Indianapolis. And as you can imagine, Caitlin Clark is leading the All-Star vote. By the way, it looks like a massive turnout.
Angel Reese was positioned as the WNBA spokesperson. So why didn't she get in the top 10 of the All-Star voting? She received one of the lowest percentages among eligible players, 30.9%, from the floor, while Caitlin Clark received over 515,000 votes, leaving Reese far behind in terms of fan support.
Be honest. Second straight year that Clark has led the fan voting. She was second in early returns in fan voting in 2024, but jumped to first with around 700,000 total votes by the end of the period. So I'm wondering, are we going to see 1 million votes this time? Because I saw somebody earlier that said so far voting is actually way up versus exactly where we was at this time last year.
Therefore, why are fans using their remote controls to cast their votes rather than the storytelling machine? Leave a comment if you thought Reese would rank higher before the voting totals were announced. Angel Reese is seemingly the face of the WNBA's branding, and you've seen her everywhere from ads to viral tweets.
The greatest myth in the WNBA dump has officially been exposed. The myth of all myths, the deception of deception. For the better part of 2 years, maybe even 3 years, the mainstream media has been trying to convince us that Angel Reese is a huge star.
The message was clear. Angel Reese was supposed to be the face of the league. She secured big endorsement deals, her image appeared in national ad campaigns, and her story was featured on everything from sports talk shows to mainstream news. The media didn't just cover Reese, they promoted her. Sources like Forbes ran headlines referring to her as A.A. Wilson, the driving force behind the WNBA's growth. They even went so far as to exclude Caitlin Clark from the conversation, despite the fact that Clark was drawing huge crowds every night.
Some in the media even do investigative journalism and claim that Angel Reese is the face of the WNBA because she leads the league in followers on social media, along with missed layups and a complete lack of athleticism. Of course, the vast majority of her followers are bots and lonely men, most of which are not buying tickets or watching her games on television because they can't afford the 5 pesos a month to watch the Chicago Bravado on WNBA League Pass.
However, her college highlights were promoted on the league's official accounts, and she was featured prominently in interviews portraying her as the next big thing. Everything was set up for a celebrity debut, and it wasn't just the league or the brand's Angel. Reese capitalized on this trend by telling interviewers that she is the reason people are paying attention and that her legacy will endure.
People are talking about women's basketball that you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas. I know I'll go down in history. I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too.
She was promoted as more than just an athlete. She was a personality and a symbol of a new era for women's basketball. However, when the vote tallies came in, the scoreboard told a very different story, which we will discuss next. Despite the constant coverage and all the hype, the All-Star votes didn't match the narrative. That's correct. Her fearless personality and willingness to speak her mind made for great headlines, and the media ran with it. Fans aren't just taking the media at face value. They're making their own decisions, and those decisions don't always align with the headlines. This is demonstrated by the fact that Reese was unable to make the top 10, while Caitlin Clark was out there leading with 516,000 votes.
And there's a supposed, people keep telling me, supposed second most popular player in the league that doesn't look like the second most popular player at all. And in fact, a rookie I have been touting that is playing better than Angel Reese, Kiki Arifin. Well, basketball fans are showing up, and they have got her voted ahead of Angel right now. Angel is not in the top 10.
Therefore, why didn't the media push result in enthusiastic support for each positive piece about Angel? However, Reese Clark's story seemed to rely more on her reputation and the narrative that was created around her. The hype was real, but the connection with fans wasn't as strong as the media wanted everyone to believe. Reese Clark was out there giving performances that demanded attention, and Clarkson court numbers did the talking. The Forbes story that highlighted Reese's contributions to the league's expansion while downplaying Clark's influence demonstrates how selective the narrative can be, even while fans are still watching the games and casting their ballots for the players who truly deliver.
According to Forbes, Caitlin Clark is not responsible for elevating this turd into the mainstream. The ladies responsible for elevating the WNBA are Angel Reese and the unknown face of the Las Vegas Anonymous Faces.
Fans notice when a story seems fabricated and want to see players earn their spot rather than have it handed to them because of a marketing campaign. The All-Star voting results show that despite all the branding and coverage behind her, Reese didn't place in the top 10. This discrepancy between media narratives and fan votes isn't just about basketball, it's about trust.
Enough to tell you where Angel Reese's place is. Well, it's 13th place. And I can tell you right now, Jonquel Jones ought to be ahead of her.
What's actually happening then? Is there a discrepancy between hype and reality? Or is there something about Reese's game that doesn't connect? Sure, she has the headlines and the endorsements, but the numbers reveal something different about what actually occurs on the court, and that's where things get interesting. Breakdown of the stat sheet lets examine the actual statistics from Angel Reese's rookie year to see what they have to say about her prospects of becoming an all-star. You may have heard a lot about her recovery, but what really transpires when you consider the whole picture?
There is obviously no way Angel can compare to Caitlin Clark as a shooter or a passer. And there is no way Angel can live up to her dynamic social media / podcast presence as a shooter or a passer or even a shot blocker. She's blocked only 2 shots so far this season. She doesn't even do that.
Let's first discuss shooting. Through her first 7 games, Reese is hitting just 30.9% from the floor, which is not only below average, but also the second worst among 64 eligible WNBA players. This is a serious warning sign. It's difficult to argue for all-star status when you miss more than 2/3 of your efforts at the rim. Post players are expected to be effective close to the basket, attempting high-percentage shots.
She has energy, she has an attitude, she'll rebound through the basketball. Great. Nothing else. She has nothing. She's got self-awareness. She knows that she's not a very good basketball player.
One commentator claimed that her 4.2 of 7 performance against the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark on the court was absurdly poor. This isn't the type of play that excites fans or garners respect in the league.
Not only is the self-proclaimed Barbie not in the lead, Angel Reese isn't even close to making the top 10.
But she leads the league in rebounds. You may be asking yourself now, even with all those rebounds, her offensive limitations are difficult to overlook because today's WNBA teams need more than just one-dimensional players. Efficiency matters, and when you rank 63rd out of 64 in field goal percentage, it speaks for itself. Her hustle and ability to recover missed shots are impressive, and she has a real knack for fighting through traffic and grabbing boards.
7, 8, 9 on the list are Kelsey Mitchell, Sabrina Ionescu, and Lexington Hull. The following 3 are Kiki Ariafin, Kelsey the Plumber, and Satu Sabali? You mean to tell me these unknowns are ranked ahead of the face of the league?
Let's evaluate her against a few other elite forwards. While Kiki Arifan is averaging a double-double and earning about 213,500 votes, demonstrating that fans reward players with well-rounded games. These players don't just show up in one stat. They fill out the entire box score, which is what sets them apart from someone who only dominates one area. Aaliyah Boston, who received about 447,000 All-Star votes, doesn't just rebound. She scores efficiently and defends at a high level.
Lexi Hall, 217,000, and there is Kiki Arifin, 213,500. She's averaging a double-double, a legit double-double, with a good field goal percentage. Angel Reese, well, wait a minute. I thought it was about you too. Everybody's watching because of me too, except everybody's not watching because of you too. I mean, guys, if the ratings ain't enough and the attendance ain't enough and what happened at LSU ain't enough and all this other stuff ain't enough to tell you where Angel Reese's place is, well, it's 13th place.
You can't ignore Reese's shortcomings, even if you concentrate on her qualities. Her anticipation and desire to outwork opponents under the rim have been commended by experts, but they also note that grabbing rebounds by itself isn't sufficient to lead a team or support all-out plays. Buzz for Stars Reese's numbers indicate that she is still hunting for that balance, and until she finds it, her effect will be minimal. The league is full of players who do a little bit of everything, and that is what fans are looking for.
So even right down here, the Mirror's calling out Angel Reese. As for Reese, one-time All-Star from last year in a rookie season alongside Clark, who appears set to earn a second honor, has struggled in 2025. 23-year-old, notorious for her rebounding supremacy, averages 11 points, but the Sky are 3-8. And she's shooting like, I don't even know what she's at now. It's probably less than 35%.
This is the real operation of the voting mechanism. Fans have the most influence over who gets to be an all-star because they account for 50% of the vote, while players and the media receive 25%. Despite this advantage, Angel Reese was unable to place in the top 10, while Caitlin Clark blew everyone away with 516,000 votes. Clark's vote haul was more than triple Reese's 173,000 vote total. This isn't just a gap. There is a whole canon between what the media promoted and what fans truly desired.
Let's see, fan voting runs through the 28th, culmination of fan voting 50%, player votes 25%, and media votes. Oh, that's going to be where Angel Reese makes her move. Media votes 25% will determine the all-star starters. Looking right at you, CBS, you still ain't released the ratings.
Thus, what caused this to occur? Despite months of the league and major outlets pushing Reese as the next big thing, fans didn't buy it. Instead, they looked past the headlines and concentrated on what really matters: performance. Clark's game speaks for itself. She's out there every night putting up numbers, making highlight plays, and actually changing the outcome of games. Fans noticed and responded with overwhelming support. Take a look at who else made the top 10. The voting process is supposed to blend popularity, respect from peers, and media buzz.
Nafisi Collier, who is probably the leader of the MVP pack right now, is at 485,000. Aaliyah Boston is third, 447,000, as she should be. Aaliyah should get some MVP conversation, I'm going to be honest.
Aaliyah Boston received 447,000 votes, indicating that supporters are following the games and rewarding players who do well overall. Boston's leadership and all-around play have won her a devoted fan base. These musicians don't just have a moment. They have a body of work that fans value in contrast. Another well-known name, Nomamic, has established her reputation on years of productivity and dependability. Reese is one of the top rebounders, but her numbers don't add up. Fans want athletes that can shoot, defend, and lead their teams to victories, not just one skill.
I know Kelsey Plum is likable. She's a lovely lady, but you mean to tell me she's more popular than Angel Reese? The same Angel Reese who has been begging, and I mean begging, people on social media to vote for her? Angel Reese, number 13 on the list, 173,000 votes. Aaliyah Boston, who most people have never heard of, has received 447,000 votes.
Angel Reese's ascent has been centered on her personality, social media moments, and branding, but fans are able to spot four stories. The league and media attempted to position her as the WNBA's face before her game was ready, and this disconnect was evident in the voting, where fans chose game producers like Boston and Clark over a one-dimensional rebounder. The statistics clearly show that it's not about who receives the most media attention, but rather about who performs well on the court.
Didn't shoot a single free throw. Although she did have 12 rebounds, her average, which does lead the league. But a couple of times Angel drove it and flung up just these wild shots from 3 or 4 feet that missed the rim by, 3 or 4 feet. Just looked so ridiculously awkward, like she'd never even played basketball.
What surprised you the most about the All-Star vote? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. The outcomes send a message to the league and all aspiring players. You can't create a superstar by just featuring them in ads or playing endless highlight videos. The disconnect between Reese's media hype and her real support is a wake-up call for how the league develops its players and how much faith fans place in the product on the court. Fans are watching and are interested in what occurs during the game, not just the anecdotes off the court.
These numbers are 100% accurate, and Angel Reese is the 13th most popular player in the WNBA. This probably means she will not be a starter in the All-Star game, which would make sense because Angel Reese shouldn't be a starter for a regular season game.
The difference between media hype and fan reality is so obvious that this All-Star vote demonstrates that substance always triumphs over spin. It's not just about one player, it's also about what fans value and how the league advances. Fans want someone who can perform on the court and connect with them on a genuine basis, as demonstrated by Reese's inability to make the top 10 despite all that exposure. This vote serves as a wake-up call for star building, and will the WNBA reconsider its marketing strategy? Is this hype train permanently off the tracks, or will Reese change her tactics to appeal to fans the next time? If this analysis opened your eyes, please like and subscribe for more in-depth analyses of the most recent WNBA plots.